Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being here. Since about 8 months ago, I have been doing some research on a container bottom lifting calculation. And I'm saying this very slowly. Bottom lifting calculations. To as far as I'm aware, there is none. I mean, literally none. And I've done some serious research. And this bottom lifting for containers is actually quite necessary, okay? Because there are some sites that would not allow you to hook it up from the top. Also, the way I'm focusing this is that you got some sort of height limitation. Excuse me. You could be picking up a container inside of a massive warehouse, right? Where you got some trusses that you cannot you can put your crane, but you cannot elevate the crane, right? Or you're gonna have some issues at the top, power cables or whatnot. Okay, and I will show you an example of that. Of my example, I was working on a highly restricted area. You need permits for this, for that. I mean, really freaking by the book, and they could not provide me this safety reason or safety mechanism to do the thing that I did, which I had to take over and do my own calculation to make it safe, right? So this tutorial or this example is sort of in essence a pioneer, because I have not seen it. Okay, and what it is, this is a calculation to short rig the top part of the chains, right, to a 45-degree angle, or what we call here in the UK a 90-degree included angle from the diagonal. Okay, from one side to the opposite side on the other side of the container, right? So there are plenty of numbers here, and it could get hectic, right? But I will definitely explain all the logic behind, right? And once it's done, you don't need it anymore, because you know the numbers, that's the important part of it. Okay, now we know, well, all the high-up users, especially for containers, we know that the chain bends at the top end of the container, correct? Right? So it goes from the bottom one end to the top, and then it bends upwards, and it will end up here somewhere. Okay, never mind the numbers here, right? I will show you how I have arrived there. Okay, but basically the line represents the chain itself, right? Now you will see a sort of like a not making sense, but if you look at it at the right angle, right, it will look straight. Trust me on that one. Yeah. So what did I do? How do I come about? Okay, so what I determine is I need to know, or I need to find out, how do I make the calculation, or how do I find the bend area where I think I think that the chain will bend. And that was driving me crazy. I could not figure that one out. And funny enough, it wasn't to today, right? Because weekend, and I do high up stuff on the weekends in my mind. Okay, so how do I come about? Let me show you a picture. Yeah, this one. That is my lorry. That is my crane. Okay, obviously I'm a class 2 driver with a mounted crane, PM65, very strong crane. This is a normal rigging configuration without shortening the chains. Okay, which for me was okay because the container was empty, right? So I did not have any type of height restrictions or anything like that here, right? Nothing was stopping me to pick up anything above, right? So okay, so what what I use for the calculations is, well, this is half of the container, okay? And this is typical of a 6.4, 6.5 meter chain. I know it's going to be here, but this angle, right? This angle is quite steep, right? Sort of on the, I don't know, 70-degree included angle, right? This angle here, right? It's quite steep. It's not that necessary, right? So I wanted to reduce it. So basically to put the chain somewhere here, right? Somewhere here, and from here to here, right? This is the area that I wanted to put the chain, but there is no calculation whatsoever to actually do that. The only thing you could do is to actually take the chain take the crane onto the other side and reduce it, and trial and error. But now with my method is zero trial and error. You can actually calculate it before you go to site. You just put once you got the measurement, you just measure your chains, yeah, to the required length, and fire and forget. Okay, so that's basically what I wanted to do. Okay, so what I've done is made some equal divisions, right, in my calculation, and trying to figure out each position. So each division is 25 centimeters, 25, 50, 75, 1 meter, and so on and so forth. Yeah, and then me deciding where do I want to cut the chain, where do I want it to bend. Okay, so having that in mind, bear with me, right? This is the lines here. Okay, so I've chosen according to here, this is the lines that I was telling you, right? 25, 50, 75, 1 meter. So initially I said, okay, let's try and figure out to do it in the 1 meter from the center, right? That's the center of the container. Oh, by the way, the container is a 20-footer. It's a 20-foot container, which is 6.6 meter, which half of it is 3.03 meters, right? So dividing, I said, okay, let's say that it would be in a 1 meter from here, from the middle of the container inwards, 1 meter. So how do you calculate? Yeah, so let me show you here. And then when you go down, right, this is the top, the pink one is the top. Okay, so this is the 1 meter. So from here to here is 1 meter, right? 75 and half a meter. Okay, so I've got 3 versions of where do I want the chain to bend, just for illustration purposes. Okay, half a meter, 3/4 of a meter, and 1 meter. Okay, just for illustration purposes, that was the guide, right? So this 203, 228, and 253 are minus this. So 50 centimeters plus 2.53 is 303. 2.28 plus 75 equal 303, right? So it's basically 303 minus each one of them. This will give me the distance from here to here. Okay, I hope I not made it complicated, but it's straightforward. Okay, I'm just saying that from here to here is 203 meters. From here to here is 2.228, and from here to here 2.53 meters. Okay, so knowing this angle here, right, knowing this distance, right, this is what I'm doing. What I'm doing is a Pythagoras calculation, right? Basically trigonometry, right? And doing that, this is what you guys can see here on the left hand side, right? So to find out the distance, this is all three distance here are hypotenuse. Okay, it is the letter C. So I only have to input this height and this height. This 2.59 is always a constant here. 2.59 is always going to be one side, okay? And this one is 203. So 2.03, right? Calculate, yeah? 3.29 and some change, yeah? It doesn't matter. 1 centimeter, who's arguing, okay? So this, now we know that from here to here is 3 meter 30 centimeters, right? We can do exactly the same here, right? We reset this and we say 2.2, so 2.59, which represents the vertical height of the container. That's constant, right? And side A, which will be this one, will be 2.28, right? So 2.28, calculate 3.45, which is this one, okay? Right? So I just want you to make you understand how I arrive to the first part of the length of the chain from the bottom hook to the top where I want it to bend, right? We're going to do it with a 2.53. So we reset this 2.53, and the constant is 2.59 the height. We calculate this, we make it 3.62, right? 3.62, right? So that's how I calculated the length of the chain based on the distance, okay, of 0.5 meter, 75 centimeters, and 1 meter distance respectively, okay? So I got this measurement, right? Now what we need to find out is, okay, we are here, but how do you measure from the bending point to the hook height, which is basically where you got the master link, okay? Now that comes here, okay? So remember, we know where this is, the 1 meter, 75 centimeters and 0.5 meter, right? Because we know from here that would be the top of the container, right? And we can do, since we know this value and we know 1.22 because that's the half of the container, right? We know this distance. This is also constant, the same as the 2.59 vertical, right? So we reset this, the constant 1.22, which will be 1.22, right? And 0.5 meter, 0.5, and then we get the hypotenuse, this one, right? So we put as side B 0.5 meters, calculate, right? And we get 1.318, which could have been 1.32 centimeters, give or take, okay? That's how we arrive at this information, okay? So this would be the length looking at the top of the container, right? The top of the container, not the angle yet. I'm talking about looking at the top, right? So now looking at the top again, we're going to find out about the 75 centimeter one, right? So we reset this, right? And we're going to put 0.75, 0.75, and side B will be always constant, 1.22, right? Calculate this, it will be 1.43, 1.432, 1.4, 1.3, 43, 1.44, doesn't matter, okay? It's 1 centimeter, right? And the other one, reset, will be 1 meter, okay? 1 meter, and the other one 1.22, right? So calculate that, it would be 1.57, because 77, it would be 1.58, right? So now we got the 3 top measurements of the trigonometry, right? So knowing this, right, and listen, ladies and gentlemen, to be a 45 degree from the center of the container, which will be from here, right? But actually here, right? This will be literally vertical, right? So so let me do the longest one. Yeah, 1.58, right? If you put it upright, you will have an equilateral triangle, right? And when you put an equilateral triangle, the hypotenuse will be 45 degree angle, right? On a right angle triangle, right? Like that, right? So, but this one will be exactly the same thing as this one. So you just have to put the 1.58 vertical, right? And from the 1 meter to the 1.5 up, you will get, so you're measuring from here to here. So you imagining a telescopic thing, right? So 1.58, it will be equivalent. If you lay down this, it will touch here. The 1.444, if you lie it down, it will end up here, right? And the 131, if you lie it down, it would be here. Obviously, because if you lie down from here to here, it will be 1.22. Okay, so it stands to reason that the further away you go from the center to the edge, the size will increase, right? Makes sense, right? So now we got so basically what we want to do is this, construct the 45 degree angle. But the further away you go from the container, the more it grows, because the height, the distance, this distance here will grow, because this distance will grow. So if I do it from here, it will be probably 1.62, 1.63, something like that meters from here to here, right? But I don't want it to be about here. So 1 meter the furthest way from the container, it will suffice. Okay, it might sound a little bit too much of a rant, but it makes sense. Okay, if you study it carefully, right, it makes sense, right? So okay, so now that you got 1.58 one side, we need to do a calculation here. So it's 1.58 both ways, and then we'll find the hypotenuse. Okay, so we reset this and we try with 1.58. So 1.58, 1.58, 1.58, 1.58, and then we calculate this, right? And it will give us the measurement, the bending distance from whatever is bending to the top of the hook, yeah, to 2.3, right? This distance here is 2.3, which I have annotated 2.4, 2.3, 0.34. Give me a second. 1.58. Yeah, 1.58 to 1.58. 2223. 2 meters 23. 2 meters 23. 2 meters 24. Okay. 2 meters 24. There you are. Even I got it wrong here. Yeah. 2 meters 24. 2 meters 24. Let's say 25. Right. Which then make this incorrect. So that would be 5 here. Right. And 2 and 5. Right. Even me, fresh, I'm making mistakes in data, but that is the final result. Okay, so let's make it. Let's do the other one, right? Which will be 1.4. Yeah, 1.4. So 1.44 and 1.44. What's the hypotenuse there? 2.03. Was I correct? 2.03? 2.04. Yeah, 6 is 2.5. So this is the one at the top is the only one I got wrong. Okay, so is the bottom length. Yeah, the bottom length. Right, the bottom length 3.30, 3.45, 3.62. which is that's how I did the calculation here. And then I'm doing exactly the same calculation from the top, right? Which is 2.04, which we got it here, 2.036, yeah, 2.04, yeah, correct. Right, so we do the last one, which will be the 1.31, right, reset, 1.31, 1.31, yeah, calculate 1.85, 1.85, I made a mistake on the top one, right? Yeah, and almost works like 25 centimeters a piece, right? So so go Control 0 to select this. So adding, let me get rid of this. So adding 3.3 meters, which is this one, the first one. Yeah, the 1 meter separation. The total length is 5.55, right? 5.6 meters, you could say, right? The second one, if you want to closer to the edge, the 75 centimeter approach, it would be 3.54, 3.45, yeah, plus 2.04, which is 550, right? If you can measure precisely, right? And the same here, this one here, it's almost no change from here, right? The second one, right? So 3.62 plus 185. Yeah, you got it here. 185, right? 5.47. Yeah, 7, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, correct. Yeah. So that is basically it. I'm not talking about the weight of the thing or anything like that. I'm talking about reducing as much as possible. Okay, this has been a little bit of a mix up, right? But the math matches. The calculation is correct. Now the only thing I have to do, I've done hundreds of containers, right? But I've never ever applied the math behind it. So the next time I'm going to do is go to my 5.55, right, 555. Let's memorize that. And we should expect, right, we should, regardless of the length of your chain, I'm talking about reducing it to this minimum length on a 25, on a 20 footer without top limiters. Okay, we're talking about that has got nothing, right? So it's just going to fold on itself, right? So 5.55 is your golden number, right? And if my math is correct, it will be 1 meter away, right? And you will be technically 1.55, 1.6 meters above the container, the actual hook, right? The master link will be here. Okay, so I hope it's clear. If you got any queries or anything like that, don't hesitate to tell me, and I will clarify it. Right, I didn't need the calculator because I've already done the calculations, the subtraction, this and that and whatnot, right? So yeah, I hope you guys liked it. Yeah, it's a novelty because it's never been done before, right? And this is precise science. With that, ladies and gentlemen, have a nice one.